Okay, we're reviewing order of operations. So this is all work that you've done in junior high math. So things that you want to remember or a way of remembering, you may have used the word BEDMAS to help you. I like to use this. It helps me remember what order. Hopefully now that you're in grade 10 and working through, it becomes automatic that you don't really have to think about this word. You can kind of visually see what you need to do first. But remember, B means brackets. Okay, E is exponents. D is division and multiplication in order from left to right, and addition and subtraction in order from left to right. Okay, so division and multiplication, adding and subtracting. So take a look at any expression that you have. The first one, you have multiplying, adding, multiplying. So visually in my head, I group these because I see that they're multiplying. And that's what has to be done first. So 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 times 4 is 8, and then you add those together. I'd like you to try to do these without a calculator so that you can get that mental math practice. All right, so next one we've got dividing, subtracting, multiplying. So these we have to do first. So again, it's kind of like grouping them, right? This first and this first. So 30 divided by 5 is 6, minus 3 times 2 is 6. 6 minus 6 is 0. Now this next one we have adding. In here is multiplication. So sometimes we use a dot for multiplication, sometimes we use an X, sometimes we use brackets. So a number multiplied in brackets by another number. So that means multiplication, and that's what this means here. Okay, so we really have adding, multiplying, subtracting in brackets. Got to do the brackets first. Can't do so you can't multiply just these and then subtract. Now there is what's called the distributive property, where you can distribute the two into both, but really we save that just for polynomials, for algebra. So for right now, copy out whatever is not inside the brackets. So everything looks the same. 5 minus 2 is 3. Now we have adding and multiplying. So we have to do that multiplying first, and then we add. So it's visually, it's almost like you're keeping however many terms to start. Really, this is considered, back in the first one, 2 terms, because terms are separated by adding and subtracting. So those keep kind of getting simpler. We're simplifying each term until we can add them together. Each term until we can add them together. This term, there's nothing to do. This, we had a few things to do, and then we could add them together. Oops, sorry. So next thing here, we have brackets, we have an exponent, we have subtraction and division. So before we do that exponent, we want to simplify in the brackets. So it's going to be 6. Copy everything else out the same. Now we have an exponent that we need to do. Now, in this case, so we could do 36 and then copy out the rest. Because this is separated by subtracting, you really could do the dividing at the same time because they're not in the same term. So you could have gone right from 36 to 2 here. So you could have gone right to here, and then we subtract. So again, we're making each term simpler and then adding or subtracting, whatever the case is. Here we've got 3 plus 4 squared minus 10 times 3. So we've got adding, exponent, subtracting, multiplication. So we've got to do that exponent first. Now again, we have multiplying. You could do it in the same step because it's a different term. I'm going to show it just step by step. Now this one will end up being a negative. So this is involving integers, which we will review. I think we start that tomorrow. But any case, you've done integers before. So 3 plus 16 is 19, minus 30 is negative 11. Okay. Here we've got brackets, that means multiplying, that means multiplying. So we need to do the brackets first. So you can see we're taking those terms. So this is a term, this is a term, and we're simplifying each. Now we've got multiplication in there. And then we add them together. Okay. Continuing on, same thing, we've got exponents, adding, multiplying, brackets, subtracting. So brackets first. Now, saying that, you could square the 3 because it's in a separate term. So now we'll square that. And so if I'm really following B brackets, E exponents. So I'm copying this out. Same thing, I could go right from 9 plus 10. So here, I simplified this. I could have showed it as a 9. Here, I could have done this exponent and this multiplication in the same step and gone right from there to there. Okay. Then next one, subtracting, multiplying, brackets with adding and subtracting. So got to do the brackets. So that's 11 minus 9 is 2. Then we have multiplication and then subtracting. If you are given one of these questions on a test or a quiz, we'll want you to show your work. So even if you can do this all in your head, you need to show at least 1 or 2 steps, okay, depending on the difficulty of the question. Yeah, you got to get practicing showing every step. This next one is a division. It's a fraction here. So really what it's considered to have is brackets around the numerator and around the denominator. And that kind of helps in terms of order of operations, because you don't want to start dividing 1 into 9 or that kind of thing, because that does not work. So we need to figure out what the numerator is and figure out what the denominator is before we can divide anything out. So numerator, that's going to be 14. Denominator, we've got to multiply before we add. So that'll be 14 over 7, and then we can divide. Okay. Next one, this is a multiplication. This is a division. So multiplying and dividing, you do in order from left to right. Even though it was in BEDMAS, it was DM, it's really MD. If either one of these, just depends on what the question is. So these are all fractions. So I'm multiplying. Remember, when you're dividing by fraction, and we'll review this a little later, you're really inverting and multiplying. Within each fraction, remember, you can simplify if possible. So I'm going to look within each fraction. 21 divided by 7 is 3. And then 15 divided by 3 is 5. So these are all fractions that can be simplified. 25 divided by 5 is 5. So now, when I do this in order, 3 times 5 is 15, divided by 5 is 3. Okay, now in this case, if you had done them out of order, it still would have worked out the same, but sometimes it doesn't. Okay. Next one here, we've got big brackets and then little brackets inside. So really, we copy out anything that's outside the big brackets, and then we look at the inside and follow order of operations. So we've got adding, multiplying, brackets with subtracting. So I've got to do the brackets first. Okay, then copy out what's outside. This is multiplication, so that's 3 plus 4. And then those big brackets can become small when you add them together. That's 14. A common mistake is here people will go 2 times 5 times 2. They'll add this together and do the brackets. Okay, that would give you 20. That is incorrect. Okay, so don't just go in order, look at the order of operations within it. So same thing in the next one. That's not going to be 8 times 4. It's going to be 4 plus 4 times 4. So do the inside brackets first. So you're working from the very inside brackets out. Then 2 times 4 plus 16. Again, it's not 8 times 4. And then 2 times 20, which is 40. Okay. And then a couple of applications. State a single mathematical expression that represents each statement, then evaluate. So 7 is multiplied by 5, then 9 is subtracted. So this is just going from words to a math. So 7 is multiplied by 5, then 9 is subtracted. Okay, so that goes afterwards. It's not 9 subtract 7. So it's not 9 minus 7 times 5. Okay, that word then means it comes afterwards. So to evaluate that, then we multiply and then subtract. So 35 minus 9 is 26. Okay, next one, a garage charges $30 to do an inspection of your vehicle and $65 per hour for any work done. They determine you need 4 hours of work done. So in a single expression, $30 no matter what, plus $65 per hour times 4 hours. So you can use a multiplication or a dot like that. Got to do the multiplying first. So 65 times 4 is 260. And then add those together is $290. And it's money, so you use the dollar sign. Okay, and that's it.